it's not just, it's not like a seasonal thing almost. It's almost like a day-to-day thing. I mean, I can remember specifically a tournament a few years ago in Kiwi. I was catching all my fish off docks and I was catching them on a wacky rig and a Zoom fluke stick, just skipping them under docks. And a lot of the fish were getting it immediately. Skip under the dock, engage your reel, and it's pulling back. And that's ideal. That's what you want to happen. But it came the next day, and it was a real rainy day. And a lot of times fish will leave docks in the rain, but I never recommend, don't just trash it because it's rainy, because a lot of times they stay. I don't know, it's going to sound dumb, but it seems like I've had better experiences in true rain off docks than I have cloudy days. Now, I haven't, there's no way to say for sure that that's a significant pattern, but in my experience over the years, I feel pretty confident on a rainy day that I can still catch them on docks. And if it's one of those kind of hazy, cloudy days, I've had hit or miss luck. And sunny days, you know, is ideal for that because you're looking at shade. But on Kiwi that year, killing them on a wacky rig and fished a wacky rig till, I mean, midday, 1 or 2 o'clock, and was not catching anything hardly. I mean, a few here and there, and just simply switched to a shaky head. And a little bit heavier bait, got to the bottom quicker, and ran back through the same docks I'd already fished and ended up with a respectable bag and did well in the tournament off these same docks. But the fish that day, it was a rainier, cloudy and rainy day. The fish had positioned differently. They were more on the bottom that day. And yes, I mean, and I'm not going to say it's, if it's rainy, they're on the bottom. If it's sunny, they're on the top, because that's not how it works. But you want to kind of experiment as your day goes. If you think that's what you're going to do is target docks, then you kind of want to experiment as the day goes on what presentation is working best that day. Well, then you can kind of fine tune it a little more, which I'm not one to over complicate things because fish are not as smart as we are. So we'll outthink them a lot and you make it more complicated. I've even heard people, I call it, if somebody makes a pattern over complicated, like somebody will tell me, be like, man, I found 2 strands of grass behind the dock. One was yellow, one was red. That's what they're on. You gotta find another one. You seen any? But I call it the square dock pattern, square pole pattern. Because I had the guy tell me one time, we were on Greenwood, he said, man, I don't know, dude, but I just caught 5 in a row, all docks with square poles. Fish docks all day with round poles, haven't caught one. Square poles, man, they're on them. So that's the square pole pattern. that means you're over complicating it. But back to paying attention to the bank. This is more of a broad detail, but very, very important, is you're looking at, like spring especially, you're looking for, and that's something, even if you're not trying to put together a dock pattern, you need to pay attention. And looking for these docks, there's no defined reason on why it's special, but just some of the characteristics that can make these and make them worth checking and paying attention to is like rod holders on the dock. Everybody's seen that one, rod holders. That means these probably got brush there. It's crappy piles, something somewhere around that dock. So I'll look for that. That's a common thing. Another thing that's overlooked a lot is a fishing boat on the dock. If he's got a bass boat, a John boat that looks like he fishes, something like that, he's probably put brush around his dock. So I'll pay attention to that. Lights on the dock. That means he's probably got brush, and even at very least, if he doesn't have brush, those lights have probably been on all night, and there's probably a couple of resident fish that live there because that light comes on every night. Actually, this year at the Elite Series at Hartwell, we took off one morning and it was hazy, raining, you know, and I was running up the lake and it was still pretty dark. I was like, man, you know what? 5 years ago, there used to be a light on this dock in this pocket. So I ran in this pocket and sure enough, the light was on. First cast, I had about a 6-pounder jump over my topwater on that light because it had been on all night. And I remember, and that was just one of those instances that could have been, I lost him, or I didn't catch him, he missed it. But that could have been one of those instances from just knowing that one dock, not a dock pattern, just one dock that would have added a bonus fish towards my weigh-in.
It's Mike Iaconelli. This is Bass U TV.
Here's what's awesome about Bass U TV.
You get the top instructors.
You will learn things at Bass U that you will learn nowhere else.
We take the mystery and the myths out of bass fishing.
Real tools that help you catch more fish consistently.
At Bass U TV, shoes are optional.
And I like turtles.
And that's why you want to check out Bass U TV.
Join the Bass U family.
Welcome to Bass U TV.